Assalamu warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Prof. Ashraf. Thank you so much for your sharing, your insightful explanation regarding the implementation of Sharia principles in Bursa Exchange products. As now we are transitioning to the Q&A session, the floor is open for any question feedback. Please feel free to submit your inquiries in the chat box. And I believe there is some question that has been highlighted in the chat box, has been answered by Madam Issue. Maybe we go to the question that have not as yet been answered. Prof. Ashraf, maybe we can get your input from...
I think there is a question from Ustaz Wan Rumaizi. What is your opinion on carbon credit that is used to offset carbon emission from a non-Sharia compliant development project? I think carbon credit coming is a second layer of when we do the screening. I mean, any company, I'm talking about from Sharia point of view, any company must pass the first layer of screening first, the activities, so on and so forth. And this is the additional that the company will do. So if the company is non-Sharia compliant and they try to do the carbon credit, it will not make the Sharia, the company as a Sharia compliant company. But nevertheless, I think their effort in carbon credit is, I mean, they can claim that from the carbon credit perspective, but it will not make the company as a Sharia compliant company if the company itself is, a Sharia non-compliant company. I think this is just a straightforward answer from me. Hopefully it is understood because sometimes the one who asks is more knowledgeable than the one who answers it. Anyway, Madam E, you want to or you have responded through?
Not for this one, but I think for BCX in terms of if the projects or the if the projects are non-Sharia, I think what we have is our products per se, like what you've mentioned. First of all, in order to be a valid carbon credit, you need to prove that you are helping to save the environment in that sense, right? You are able to avoid, reduce a certain amount of carbon dioxide or its equivalent in terms of greenhouse gases. I think that itself is one thing that would qualify a carbon credit before it can even be issued. So it goes through that rigor and of course a vetting on our side for it to be onboarded onto the BCX platform. So once it is on the platform, then it is Sharia compliant. And it doesn't matter if you are not Sharia compliant or Sharia compliant company, you still can purchase these credits to offset your carbon emissions. But of course, I do agree with you, Prof. Ashraf, in the sense that as a company, when you are doing this, you need to be responsible in the sense that what else are you doing? This is one of the measures. What other things are you doing to ensure that you walk the talk? I think that's
if I may add, from our perspective as a carbon exchange provider, I mean, we are not going to say no for those non-Sharia compliant companies who want to buy the carbon credit. This is, I think, of course, a mineral water. If we are selling mineral water, we will sell to anybody who wants to consume it. And even though they are Sharia non-compliant company, the consumption of this carbon credit is still, I mean, allowed by Sharia, the offsetting part, I mean. Yeah, but again, it will by doing this, it will not, if the activities of the company is still non-compliant, then it will remain non-compliant from that perspective.
Okay, Prophet, there is a question on, does Sharia methodology look at the on-the-ground impact of the product to the society and environment? and as well, or purely based on the paper information of the product's contracts?
I think I'm not sure. Maybe Madam Isu can enlighten us on this. Because when we look at, the impact here, we look at the methodology, how the carbon credit has been calculated. What are the methodology? I think we are satisfied that the methodology used are good, and there's nothing wrong from Sharia point of view to use such methodology. And of course, we did not go to the ground to check, but this methodology, of course, it is very scientific in nature, and the calculation, how they do it, I think from Sharia perspective, we do not have any issue on that. Maybe Madam Isu, you want to add on that?
Yeah. So I think on the carbon credit side, generally there are additional parts to a carbon credit. First, for a carbon credit to be valid or the project to be valid, you need to show that there is a certain amount of emissions that you have reduced or removed or avoided from the atmosphere, right? And then you have this thing called an additional certification, where it is called a CCV, right? Climate, community, and biodiversity. These are additional certification that makes a project even more impactful. And what happens is a methodology is just a guide. But if you look at the Vera methodology or gold standard or any of the methodologies out there, and I've shared links in my answers, the methodology guide is very, very detailed. It goes to tell you what can you do with the land 10 years before. Can you chop the land 1 year before and then plant trees and then you can get credits? No. You have to make sure that the land was maybe, it was supposed to be chopped down for timber, and you've managed to convert this license, then you keep the tree standing. So I think what happens before and after is also taken into consideration in a methodology so that it is not just manipulated for sense. And on top of that guide, of course, you can say, how would I know if something happened on the ground? Then you have validators and verifiers, which are your third party macam auditor. They will come and check your project on the ground. They will see that, okay, your calculation is accurate. You've tested the soil. What is the soil analysis? All these things will be checked before they can sign off. And it undergoes a very stringent process and multiple times before the standard body like Vera or Gold Standard can issue the certificate. So if you don't pass all of these requirements, the project that you develop might not end up having a certificate. So I think, and when it comes to the climate, community, and biodiversity, these are additional things that you, if you like for your project, you can add on. It will also have to be validated and verified, and you can have multiple rankings. You can have a climate goal, community silver, biodiversity goal. So all these are possible to give more confidence to the buyer in that sense, yeah.
I think this is another question from Encik Zamulut. Maybe Miss Madam E, we want to, because just a moment. If the underlying asset of the certificates are spoiled, for example, in the concept of asset still hold. Before I answer, I think better for you to clarify that first.
Okay, so usually there's this thing called a buffer. Yeah, there is a buffer pool by the methodology precisely to cater for things like this, like a fire or, whatever reason the certificates or the assets might not be able to be used, especially in carbon credit. Because in terms of RECs, what is shown in the meter, then it will be issued. So that's quite easy. But when it comes to carbon credits, there is a buffer pool to cater for this. So let's say you generate 1 million credits. For all you know, there is a way of calculation in terms of the risk of the project, the type of land, your geography, all that is taken into consideration. They might say 15% of these credits I will put in a pool, which means then you have 850,000 credits issued instead of 1 million. 150,000, which is your 15%, is kept in the pool by Vera for a buffer in case there's a fire or whatever. So this is then accumulated over the total project period. if the project is for 10 years, then this is done over 10 years. So I think that's how the buffer is done. So if something were to happen, then this kicks in, and then they will measure the total amount and then compensate so that whatever you've offset is valid.
Okay, I also noticed that some participants are requesting slides, although want to share the slides. You may do so, and if you want the slide, you may email to us, email that you have gotten the link for this one. Okay, maybe we have more like 5 minutes more. I think this which party will determine the right price at the initial stage, whether the carbon credit benefits from the issuance of the certificates.
Okay. I think in terms of the right price, it is determined by the project developer or the seller. So then if there's a willing buyer, then it's a free market. So we don't, BCX does not determine the price of the assets that we sell. Whether the carbon credits will benefit from the issuance of the certificate, I'm not certain what you mean by this. Maybe I need a little bit more clarification. Yeah.
Yep. Maybe one question to Prof. Ashraf. Are there controls or certain criteria set by Bursa for sellers of carbon credit so that it will conform to the Shariah principle?
Where is the
the
Aman? What are other aspects from Sharia were considered to arrive when carbon credit? It will be Sharia compliant. I think this is where we, as I mentioned earlier, the status of asset, and that is very important. And then once we satisfy that it is an asset from Sharia perspective, so once it is an asset, then it can be traded. Then after that, as mentioned by Madam Isyu, how it is traded. We make sure that the trading part is done from A to Z using all Sharia compliance components. Yeah, so this is also ensuring that it is not only the asset itself is Sharia compliant, which is the carbon credit, but also all the processes related to trading this carbon credit that are all also Sharia compliant. I think this is what we are doing at our part at Bursa.
There is question, are there any financial benefits or outcomes for company or individual if they invest in or buy carbon credits part of their protection? Maybe beneficial.
Since it is an asset, of course, you can trade it. Of course, the main benefit is when you do the offsetting. But of course, if you hold it, then we do not know whether the price will go up and go down. Maybe if you hold it, the price will go up, then it is an asset. It is traded through the platform, then you sell it at, at profit if it goes up, and you are not using it for redemption, yeah, to redeem it or offsetting your carbon emission. So I am not sure, Madam, maybe there are some other benefits of holding the certificate.
Yeah.
Of course, you are also encouraging the carbon absorption activities.
Yeah. So I think you're pretty much correct, Prof. Ashraf. I think the only thing if I would add on is like with the CCB certification of a product, what you've put in is also helping maybe climate or biodiversity in specific or a community. So there's also that. Currently, we don't sell to individuals. We do trade with companies, but we can't guarantee the price or a financial benefit per se. The intent of green assets as such is so that you're able to offset or redeem this in lieu of the emissions that you've generated for your business. And while you are paying for this, it is helping to finance green projects. So I think that's how we see it, rather than we see it as a financial product. Yeah.
And of course, when you are doing this, the status of your company will be maybe because there are a lot of buyer out there will look when they want to buy things, they will look at the status of this sustainability of the company. So this is the end result of when you do the offsetting, of course. Dr. Nordin is asking about the pollution. It's not only carbon. There are a lot of course, we know it is not only carbon. So what is your response on this, madam?
Yeah. So I think in that sense, you're right. And it's one of the reasons why we decided to go to be a multi-asset exchange, because we are looking in the industry, there are such things as, biodiversity credits are coming, plastic credits are coming, water credits are coming out. But at this point of time, we have decided to embark on two of the more stable assets in the market that has been around for some time. We will look into such credits in the future, or such assets in the future. Yeah.
This is just a start, Ustaz Sahil.
Yes.
It's a very dynamic space. We're looking to see where it goes.
We have two more questions. Maybe we can on the Tawin and Gharama, how this is applicable to carbon tax. I think this is more on the payment of the carbon credit tax to take charge based on Tawin, right?
Yeah. So I think I will just touch on it a little bit, but I think Prof. Ashraf, you might be able to give a clearer understanding. We don't charge interest based on conventional banking, right? So I think that's the important concept here for late payment, and that's why there are alternative options. And I think maybe Prof. Ashraf is able to explain how these alternative options work instead of.
I think we are using the same. I mean, when you talk exchange, we are using the same. I mean, if you are trading equity, it is the same. I mean, the bid, the offer, the bid and offer, the offer and acceptance, matching kind of system. Yeah. So when we are using this particular system, if anybody, I mean, for example, the buyer, they did not pay, or they, I mean, they did not pay on time. So normally there will be penalty charge, and in conventional market it is penalty charge on interest. So here what we allow is only the actual loss, and of course the gharam part that will go to the charity. I think all of us in Islamic finance, we know this. So I think this is the, I mean, this is the part where maybe the penalty will come and kick in if there is any default from the buyer or even from the seller, if it comes, because Bursa need to match it. If they did not submit the certificate, then we need to buy from somebody else. And of course, when we do that, maybe there are some extra costs on Bursa. So we need to charge them the actual loss that we are experiencing. Yeah. So, but of course, it is very remote. But this is what we have in the in our system, so that to avoid all those interests.
Okay. Alhamdulillah, we come to the end of the session. Maybe before, as we conclude today, I would like to invite again our speakers to share a bit closing thought on this webinar before we conclude the session.
Yeah, I would like to thank everyone for this opportunity. We are just at the beginning of our work. It's still an entire ecosystem and something long-term that we are looking at. So feel free to reach out if you are interested in procuring any of our products, or if you'd like to find out more. And we have a lot of resources also available on the BCX website. So feel free to visit our website as well. Thank you.
And for me, I would like to thank all the participants. I think from the question asked and the suggestion, I think, I mean, the interest very high. And I would like to welcome all the suggestions, and even if you have any counter proposal from Shariah point of view, please reach us out. We really appreciate all those comments. And thank you very much for
Okay, Alhamdulillah, many thanks again to Professor and Isu for sharing their valuable insight during this session. As we conclude, I would like to extend our gratitude to all the attendees. And again, we look forward to meeting again in the next Shariah webinar series. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.